Kevin here. We're making more and more of a mess every time I get you out here. But Kevin here, Factotum Jack. So last video I left you off, we made this outlet. So I wanted to grab a cover real quick. So if you're doing like I'm doing, I've got a steel handy box, and I'm going to be screwing both of these into the handy box, and then I'm going to screw the outlet cover onto that once it's mounted to the box. With these other ones we're going to get to right here. Oh snap, I forgot to do that. Well anyways, so, in the last video I also showed you how to strip, or maybe it was the video before that, I showed you how to strip wire wrong. I had you stripping it this way. You're supposed to actually go through and pop the, once you get it where you want it, you're going to put it on that side and pop it off. Nice and easy. Also, I just noticed earlier, there is a cutting feature here. You slide your wire in and clip, and it cuts, and it shears it. So you can cut your wire and everything with that. I just don't use them that often, so that's why you're getting like half-assed knowledge out of me on that one. So just because I don't use it, I use my regular wire strippers, the traditionals, these fancy ratcheting ones. I'm getting quicker at these rubber bands, and they are the cat's ass. I'm liking these things. They just look nicer, and I'm gonna probably go on a limb and say they're gonna last longer than wrapping them in electrical tape. Some guys don't wrap in electrical tape, and guess what? They're a pain in the ass to work with. This gives you that little bit of comfort that something isn't gonna, get in there. Somebody takes a cover off, a little kid sticks a screwdriver in, whatever. It gives you that added protection before the actual thing comes out. So once you've got your outlet, it's all prepared. So normally the first one we were showing you, this we were under the assumption this is coming out of a handy box, and you can still tie this into a handy box. You essentially could take the leads that are in there, strip each one of these, which is what I'm going to do anyways because it's a chicken coop and it'll be easier for me to work with this way. And I am going to get the right one, I hope. Stranded. 14, okay. Oop. As you can tell, I'm not used to this set. I got too much. Anyways. Oh, and that was not ready either. Huh. You guys are just watching me mess around, huh? There. You strip them, and then you can wire nut these to the leads coming out of your box. You can tie this into the grounding system and into the handy box, and the cover gets grounded with this, and it also is your backup to grounding your handy box. Unless your box is plastic, at which point you can't ground it because you can't ground plastic because it is not conductive. It'll conduct electricity by burning. So, yeah, help if I grab the right ones, guys. Alright, so, taking each one of these, and you're going to just strip them down so that you can tie them once you get in. So now you've got, there's one, and this is the cover we're going to mount to. It comes with a little package. It's got some screws. It's got some screws and nuts, or some bolts and nuts. And essentially, you're going to want, let's see here, got 4 screws. I don't think that's right. So yes. Yep, okay. So you're going to continue to use the screws that are on here, but your wing tabs are going to be in your way. So what I do is I said if you don't have dikes, I said I'll need those, or lineman pliers, which are the bigger, fatter ones. These are already perforated down these edges. You can see them on the upper ones. So I usually, once I have my outlet created, I just wiggle them back and forth, break them tabs off. They're going to get in your way mounting them to the cover. And you're going to go ahead. Oop. If it wants to play ball. Come on, Kev. There.
trying to get Bruce.
Okay, well, I'll be out in a minute, buddy. Dog's trying to get the cat. It's an age-old story, kiddo. Anyways, so that's what your outlet's going to look like when you're done. And, oh yeah, ha ha ha. All right. You can take those. You shouldn't need the there's a little washer on there that holds it in place. It's more of a guide. You're going to remove your screws from each one of those. The bottom one I don't think has one of those guides because it's got the plastic or the brass mount, which also helps ground the screw into the box. So as you can see right there, that's how you're going to mount the one. You're going to slide your screw that came, one of your 2 screws that came with it, and these covers usually come with a nut. And I like to start them by hand, and then grab that handy combo screwdriver I showed you earlier, and put your finger for backup on there. So when you're there. So this way, when you're screwing it, it doesn't just free spin. And then, of course, I'm going to have a dickens of a problem on this thing. So, but as long as you pinch that nut down, once it starts to bite, there. And make sure you got it lined up right. Before you finish tightening it down all the way, obviously get the next screw in there. That brass plate on the bottom side is going on the outlet itself is going to make your life a little more easier and manageable when you're doing this. As you can see, you make a mess. I like to carry a 5-gallon bucket around with me because most of the time you're not doing this at a desk. You're, I mean, it's like 6 degrees outside. It's supposed to be -6 tonight here in Western New York. That's why we're trying to get the chicken coop juiced up tonight so those poor little bastards don't freeze to death. Because they're in the old coop right now, and we don't have power to the old coop, so they don't even have a light bulb. They huddle together. They should be fine. But they're full-grown chickens and they're egg layers, and we don't want to risk it for one night worth of light bulb. So why that's giving me a problem, I don't know. There. Just started wrong. Sometimes they need a little help from our... That's why we got so many damn tools sitting around. Okay, so obviously you're sitting here watching me for minutes wire, and because I'm filming, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And somebody's gonna say, "Why don't you edit?" And guess what? I'm putting out like 10 videos tonight, and I'm trying not to edit as much. So I've been doing the YouTube thing long enough to know that editing is a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna end up. This pack came with 2 extra screws. I don't know why. And essentially, you just put your 3rd screw right there, as if it were a typical outlet. At which point you can't use our old handy dandy screwdriver. So, because apparently this is Blue's Clues. I always just have 2 sticking on the side. I have a Klein backpack that I keep all these tools in. It's super handy. Obviously this is commercial electric because I could not find a nice set of Klein insulated screwdrivers the day I was purchasing. So, like that. And then little electrician's OCD when you're doing outlets and stuff, just to not mess with people. Most electricians, if they're just putting in outlets, will try to put them in all in one direction. You know, it looks a little more professional. Maybe it's OCD. Maybe I'm the only one who does it. I know I have a couple buddies that are in the field and they do it. And then obviously I'm going to do the same thing for this one. And then this will go on a 4x4 standard junction box. You probably see one in your basement. We mounted one to ours had tabs on it, and it went to a wall joist inside the new chicken coop. And those come with 2 screws, and it'll be boom, boom. And when I'm wiring it in, I will wire nut all my neutrals to the neutrals coming out of the box, all my hots coming to the hot out of the box. Some guys will do these where they'll pair this one into the other one, and then they'll just come out with one whip. I like to have them independent. You know, because now all of a sudden, if this is taking all the load, this is the one at the end of the line, I plug something in here, it all has to go through this one and then out. This way, the stress is all at a simple wire nut, because the wire nut's there anyway, so you're still going to have all that stress then going to the wire nut and then to the next outlet, and maybe at the end of the day it all runs through one outlet. I like to make each one independent. It gives you longevity. And I'm sure I could get into a philosophical debate with somebody over that, but it definitely does not have to go through each and every outlet, so that the first outlet is seeing all of the electricity from every outlet going through it. That's why I'll jump into a box, tie it together at a wire nut, and jump out of the box, so that the wire nut is seeing stress, and wire nuts are a dime a dozen. Obviously, you want to have the most minimal connections as possible, because almost every one of your issues, typically, unless it's a wire burning up in a wall, is going to be at the connection. It's just simple stuff right there. And then I try to keep, when you're doing these, try to keep your wires roughly the same length, and go through and makes it nice and easy. So when I mount this, then this will go in, and I'll wire nut all these into the connections coming out of the box. Steel box, I'll actually have a pigtail or a grounding tail. It's actually one of these with a screw already horseshoed. It's solid. It's going to have a set screw going right into the box. Those boxes already come with a little dimple that comes out and threaded for the screw there, so a grounding tail. And then also I've got a ground coming from the main of the home run. So it's going to come ground, tied into the box, tied into this. This is also going to be mounted to the box. It's just that backup, that safety. That's what you're looking for. You could never be too careful. You should have a healthy fear of a lot of stuff in life. Electrical, I have a healthy fear of electricity. But what I try to do is I try to give myself a healthier knowledge of it. It just makes life a little easier. And hopefully the knowledge that I'm bestowing on you today makes your life a little easier when you have an outlet go out. And I'm sure I'm taking myself out of the industry. I'm taking work away from myself. But there's enough, here's the thing, is there's enough work to go around. And if you can save a couple bucks so that you can, buy your kids books or something, take them on vacation to Wilmington, Delaware, and show them how the country was founded or something, something educational, and better. If you could spend your time doing something, you spend your time doing this and save your money. That's what do-it-yourself is all about. So thanks guys for watching, and we're gonna get into switches next, because obviously it's a similar concept. They just the do's and do nots, and just getting you guys a broad knowledge. If there's any questions, don't forget to comment below. I appreciate your constructive criticism. I appreciate people critiquing what I've done wrong. I'm sure I'm going to get enough critiques about me misusing these in the last video, but oh well, I corrected on this video. So catch you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks.